We are deeply grateful to His Highness Sheikh Mohammed bin Zayed, President of the United Arab Emirates, and His Highness Sheikh Mohammed bin Rashid Al Maktoum, Vice President and Prime Minister of UAE, for the kind invitation to address this important gathering where world and thought leaders assemble to deliberate on the trials and hopes of our time. It is my distinct honor to address the World Government Summit on matters that are pertinent not only Ethiopia, but also the future of the African continent. Geopolitical power is shifting, and the conventional trust on multilateral system is fast eroding, triggering a state of uncertainty. For the Global South, and particularly for Africa, this is a period of defining moment of self-introspection. While disruptive change challenges the old order, innovation in renewable and sustainable energy, artificial intelligence, and digital finance are providing us with the tools to leapfrog decades of developmental hurdles. For Africa, this changing environment is a clarion call. We don't see ourselves as a mere observers for global change, but as architects of our future and our destiny. Today, inter-Africa trade is ready to transformative shift through the critical implementation of the African Continental Free Trade Area. With its full implementation, we would be consolidating a market of 1.3 billion people with a collective GDP exceeding $3.4 trillion US. This is more than an economic pact. It is one of the flagship initiatives of the African Union's Agenda 2063 that forge a strategic framework for inclusive and sustainable socio-economic development. The Africa Continental Free Trade Area mechanism builds regional production networks by eliminating 90% of tariff barriers. Excellencies, as Africa's economy future is being shaped by integration and cross-border connectivity, success stories are emerging in the continent. The North-South corridor connecting Dar es Salaam to the copper belts of Africa, the Central Corridor linking the Great Lakes region to the seacoast, Lapset Corridor connecting Kenya, South Sudan, and Ethiopia, and the recently inked multi-million-dollar project connecting Ethiopia with South Sudan remain pillars of African connectivity strategy. These routes are not just asphalts and railways, they are the veins and arteries of regional cooperation. To boost its own and Africa's industrial upgrade, Ethiopia is focusing on three strategic pillars. The first one is Ethiopia's strong belief in energy as a regional catalyst. With the full operation of the Grand Ethiopian Renaissance Dam, which is built by Ethiopia's own resource, unlike some claim. We are now generating over 6,000 megawatts of clean power. This is part of our Pan-African connectivity plan. The second one is Ethiopia's right path towards food self-sufficiency. We have transformed from a wheat importer to Africa's largest wheat producer through heat-resistant varieties and strategic irrigation. Last year, our coffee production reached 640,000 tons of coffee. We have planted 8.5 billion seedlings of high-quality coffee, of premier coffee quality to be available to the world. It may be our little contribution for everyone to start the day with a good spirit of the premium coffee. The third one is to further expand Africa's air connectivity. Ethiopia is currently constructing a $12.5 billion US international airport with a capacity of 110 million passengers and over 3 million tons of cargo per year. Excellencies, Africa has made encouraging progress over the last decade. However, the path ahead remains steep and difficult. Our aspirations are vast, and yet bridging the gap between our vision and implementation remains daunting, widened largely by a chronic lack of capital. And in particular, financing infrastructure projects has become very difficult. Therefore, to close this divide, we have started empowering our financial institutions and strengthening innovative public-private partnership. We are very much encouraged to see the African private sector, our innovators and entrepreneurs are rising to the occasion and investing in our collective future. Furthermore, the stability and reliability of our gateways are paramount. For example, for Ethiopia, the security of the Red Sea corridor is not only critical, but also it is vital artery to 12% of the global trade. This indeed demands an urgent and collaborative framework, an arrangement or mechanism unburdened by strategic gains and parochial geoeconomic interests. Excellencies, before I conclude, I would like to emphasize on two critical issues of importance that Africa attaches in its relation with the rest of the world. The first one is trust. I believe earlier today, the CEOs of IBM and Ericsson mentioned about trust, rightly so. In our case, beyond development prosperity, we believe that we have to address issues related to trust and dependability in forging our collective aspiration. New sets of emerging issues ranging from artificial intelligence to mega infrastructure and biotech can only be impactful if they are anchored in understanding and rooted in trust. For too long, African countries have navigated relationships that are disappointingly and sometimes frustratingly asymmetrical and lopsided. Ethiopia's experience is a sobering example. We are a long-time partner within the AGOA eligible framework. We built state-of-the-art industrial parks and manufacturing hubs, believing that we would be able to tap the opportunities offered. Yet, the rug was pulled out from under our feet for a completely different and unrelated reason. When our eligibility was drawn, we ended up employing over 50,000 women where their entire livelihood depended on. The second one, Excellencies, is Africa's long and held belief, and it's called to be on the right side of history. In today's fragmented global governance, we see a disturbing trend towards unexpected disruption, often precipitated by overriding principles. Some may have the right to be wrong because they have the cushion and validation, sometimes wrongly, of power. Africa doesn't have the luxury of making mistakes. Every step we take demands a thorough and painful introspection. This is precisely why we are approaching this global transition with such depth and gravity. We are examining every step to assess the impact of the transition while simultaneously engaging in self-examination necessary to ensure we maximize the benefits. Sometimes we find ourselves in a very awkward position when we were told to choose friends or foes. Africa's position is clear. That is, one should not be pressured or be compelled to choose. We may not necessarily be an ally in every geopolitical drive, but we are glad to align and reconcile our position based on shared and mutual interests, because history has informed us that today's presumed adversaries could be our partners in progress. Our survival and continuity as human beings is based on shared interests. If shared interests diverge, we have developed the patience and tolerance to wait it out until it passes, or negotiate until we collectively realize that working together outweighs moving only in one's own interest. The Ghanaian novelist, late 1960s, Taye Maha, while searching for an immaculate and an uncorrupt political leader amongst his own friends, and when he found none, he famously wrote, "The beautifuls are not yet born." In his intellectual evocation, he lamented that the beautifuls are not yet born. This is often cited regarding Africa and its unfulfilled promise. But today, I want to understand it through the prism of the world at large. The beautiful version of our collective human progress, one that is genuinely inclusive, equitable, caring, and stable, may not yet be born. Some say that the labor has only begun. Nonetheless, we are encouraged to see young leaders, courageous political leaders, innovators in the midst of us who believe in power of ideation, are ready to bring about the world we want to see. In the meantime, the resistance coming from those who are stuck in the past, which we are not short of them, particularly in our region, and unwilling to embrace the new ideas, will continue to be the cause of our collective agony. Finally, we are encouraged to see that some in the developed world are beginning to see the world not as they wish it to be, but as it actually is. A very phenomenal shift and progress. For Africa, we have the plan, the policy, and the leadership. This is the moment for genuine partnership. Let's build a future where global governance is not a tool of exclusion and exploitation, but a bridge for mutual survival. Africa is ready. Ethiopia is ready to connect and ready to thrive in our own will as an equal partners to the world. Thank you for your attention.